Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about something a little bit different than what I usually talk about. Now, a lot of the conversation around YouTube has been revolved around viewership. A lot of people are seeing drops and viewership changes in the algorithm and whatnot. And I think my channel has been affected a lot by this as well. A lot of people have come out to talk about it. Notable figures within the space, such as Linus Tech Tips. If we look at X, I don't really look at X ever. A lot of people are complaining videos are being hidden. A lot of people are talking about this online. I've seen videos made on this topic. I've seen tweets or X's. I don't even know what you can call it, brother. Yeah, and a lot of people are getting this too, like small, large creators. It doesn't matter. People are getting hit, and myself included. So let's look at my YouTube channel itself. All right, so here's my YouTube homepage. You can see my beautiful banner. This was painted by my girlfriend, so that's why it's here, in case you were wondering. Anyway, here are my videos, right? If you see the views, 200, 100, 200, 200, 487, whatever, right? Which I'm very grateful for all the support that I do get. But prior to this, like a month ago, I would get way more, 3.7k, 1k, 1.7k. Obviously not every video is going to be a hit. 4.7, 1.7k, things like that, right? 7.7k. This is a month ago. And this is also when people started reporting, things, abnormalities in their view counts and whatnot, which is fine. It could be completely my fault, which I'm not, opposed to that opinion. Maybe you have that opinion. But what's changed in that time is this setting here that a lot of people have been pointing out, this restrictions mode. Now, allegedly, what's happening is some people on this website, app, or whatever, have this on by default. And YouTube is putting this on their account. Obviously, you can go to your own settings and put it on and off at your own discretion. But this is what my channel looks like if you have that setting off, right? I have, hundreds of videos? Hundreds, right? Mostly Marvel Rivals. Some from before Marvel Rivals came out and whatnot, right? I have hundreds of videos. If you turn this mode on, the restricted mode, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos. And these are 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 1 year ago. 1 year ago. And this is like before, I started making money, right? This is when I was making YouTube videos for fun, which I still do, obviously. But yeah, I mean, these are the only 7 videos out of my catalog of hundreds that are not restricted and are not adult only content, apparently. And it's not like I'm like showing anything explicit in this video. You can tell I'm trying really hard not to say bad words or words that could get the video restricted. But prior to all this happening, all the videos were fine, right? I'm satisfied with these amount of views, this amount of support. Well, I'm happy with any amount of support, but obviously I was satisfied with this. But now all of a sudden everything has changed. Again, it could be my fault, but this sucks, right? Because it makes it hard for me to, one, stay motivated to make more videos and spend a lot of time on them, and also it's hard for me to financially justify spending, a large part of my day making videos instead of, focusing on my other forms of income, right? I really do want to do this more often than not, right? Because it's my passion. I've made so many videos, and I'm not in a position where I can support myself completely just by doing this, right? And this does not help what's happening recently, and it really sucks. Other thing that I want to bring to your attention is in the YouTube studio. Now, a lot of people are saying the drop off in viewers for a lot of these creators could be because of new AI systems implemented in YouTube to see if people are authentic viewers or not. Now, the way this works is they will track somebody's engagement in the video or in your channel to see if you're actually a viewer or if you're just a passerby or someone that's not really interacting, right? And if you are a viewer that's not interacting, then they don't count you as a view. Also, if you're a bot that is just, view botting, you don't count as a view. But, you can see where mistakes can be made within this system. For me personally, on my channel, if we look at the statistics, in the last 90 days, if we look here, 42% of my viewers watch on the TV, right? The television, right? Maybe they use a console, maybe they have a smart TV with YouTube on it, and that's how they're watching my videos. The second is mobile phone, which is 31%. So 70% watch my videos on a phone or on the television, right? Very few people watch on the computer, very few watch on the tablet, right? Which is fine. But what that means is because there's so many people watching on the television, the chances are people aren't going to interact with the video as much, right? They're just putting it on the TV and then letting it play through. Maybe they're, at work, maybe they're at the gym, maybe they're studying, doing whatever, and they're just watching the video on the side. They're not really paying too much attention. They're not really reading comments. They're not liking the video. They're not pressing subscribe, whatever, right? Also, it could be because, I make very long videos. If we look back at my videos, right, most of them are like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 40 minutes long, pretty long videos that, people will most likely put on the side and then just leave and then watch. I even have some hour-long videos, some videos that are over an hour. People just watch them while they do other stuff. But because they're doing that, they don't count as views based on the new AI system because they're not engaging. That's just my theory. Obviously, there's no way for me to actually confirm whether or not that's actually happening, but that's just my assumption based on what I know. And obviously, if you're on the TV, you're not gonna type a comment out, right? Like you're gonna get your remote and then like slowly type a comment out. Like there's no way. You're also not gonna probably like the video or subscribe. It's a lot of work. And if you're doing other stuff, when I say in the video, oh, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, a lot of people might not even be listening at that point. You just have the video on as background, right? Which is fine, right? You can enjoy the content whichever way you'd like, but it doesn't reflect on the video itself now because of these new systems in place. Also, if you look at my analytics in the last 90 days, right? I went on like a 2-week long vacation here in July, so this is why my viewership was so low. When I came back though, I started uploading way more and I got, my views back to what they used to be. And then after a while, August rolls around, a little dip, but your boy comes back. But then what happens is August 13 hits, which was incidentally also the day that the whole 18 plus thing happened, or the whole adult checking if people's account are old enough and whatnot, all this whole debacle happened. And then since then, boom, 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 it's just been down. And to rectify this, I started uploading way more because I'm like, okay, maybe I need to upload more in order to get the views back. But eventually it just goes back down. It's going up and down. I started uploading YouTube shorts. Maybe that's helping a little bit, but unfortunately, this is where we're at, right? But before my vacation, prior to that, like I was having, a lot of regular viewers and whatnot. Go on vacation, come back, or try to get it back, and then eventually, boom, everything drops. And then here we are within the last 3 weeks to a month, and then this is where we're at. As you can see, all my stuff is down, subscribers down, watch time hours is down, views are down, whatever. And obviously this could be a lot of factors, quality of uploads. Obviously it's not the amount of uploads. I uploaded so much, like 4 times a week, sometimes 7 times a week. And that's still the result of that. As I just mentioned, let's talk more about August 13 and the introduction of the new YouTube guidelines. As a lot of you may or may not know, there is new guidelines in America about minors watching YouTube and whatnot. So now YouTube has employed AI to try and determine your age based on things you search on YouTube, as well as, you know, your watch history. And that could also be affecting viewership. Again, all of this happened around the time that started to be put in place in America. And if you look at my analytics, a large majority of my viewers are from the United States, 59.5%. The reason for that being is I'm a mostly Marvel Rivals channel, right? Marvel Rivals is not as popular in other countries around the world as it is in the United States and in the West, in Americas. You know, this is where the game is more centralized. So if a lot of accounts in America are being purged and they're saying, okay, we're going to put restrictions on your account because we think that you're underage, all of a sudden my videos are not being put out to them anymore. All of a sudden my videos are not being recommended. They're not showing up in subscriptions, and you can't even see them. Obviously we have the restricted mode, and I assume that is going to be put in place for accounts that they think are under 18. And as you may know, the only way to rectify this, if you have been wrongfully flagged as an account that's owned by somebody that's underage, the only way to change that is by sending in your ID or credit card, or like taking a picture of yourself, and then like they use your bio data or whatever to see if you're 18 or not. Like, and obviously I'm not gonna tell you to go do that just so I can get my views back, right? Like I think your privacy and your cybersecurity is way more important than me, you know, getting views. So I'm not gonna tell you guys to go and, oh yeah, guys, make sure you go verify that your account is 18. I'm not gonna tell you to do that. Also, if you look at here, within the last 90 days, majority of my viewers are 25 to 34 years old, 45%. 18 to 24 is 37%. And then it says here, down here, viewer age is based on the age users tell us when making their account. It does not yet reflect users YouTube estimated to be under 18. So this data is not confirmed yet, but when will it be? If you go the last 28 days, it's not changed, and they still say it hasn't reflected what YouTube thinks are under 18. But based on what people say on their accounts, a lot of my viewers are adults, right? We'll see if that changes. Obviously, we can't tell everything just by the numbers itself. Because of these changes, I've seen a very, very sharp drop in all my views. And I'm not the only one. There's a lot of accounts that have been reporting the same thing. And I think my channel was hit really, really hard because of it. Obviously, because the nature of my content, you know, revolves a lot around like toxic people, you know, spectating toxic people. And, you know, sometimes these people say a lot of bad things. I'm not going to repeat them, obviously, because I don't want this video to be restricted as well. But they say a lot of unsavory things that may trigger my video being restricted. And, you know, all these things put together means my YouTube channel is cooked, basically, which means that something's going to have to change. The reason why I'm making this video is not to complain, because obviously there's not really much I can do about it. The only thing I can do about it is to change my content, which is going to suck for me and for, you know, subscribers, whatever, because I really enjoy the content that I make. Most of the videos I make are about spectating toxic people, right? So these videos, that's why these videos are really long, because I spectate games, I commentate, I talk about what's going on, maybe for like newer players and low elo players, they can learn something about how to play the game. The reason why I choose specifically toxic people who say mean things and are mean to people is, one, to show that, you know, there's multiple sides to every game, and to highlight people's hypocrisy, right? These guys are toxic, they're lashing out at other people for their bad plays or whatnot. The reason why do this show is to show people that, okay, yeah, you have a lot of criticisms of other people, but you didn't play perfectly either. So you shouldn't be so hard on people, and also you shouldn't be toxic and whatever. Obviously, I could spectate anybody I want and say, oh, this is a bad play, you shouldn't do this, but the reason why I choose specifically toxic people is because I think they deserve it. And I don't feel bad about trash talking people that trash talk somebody else, right? But because of the nature of my videos, it's not going well with the YouTube guidelines. And not even the YouTube guidelines. Every time I upload a video, they always say, you know, we're checking your video to see if the content is okay to be on YouTube and whatever. And I don't get demonetized or anything. All these videos are still fully monetized, and after it goes through the checks, YouTube says, okay, it's good to go, basically. But they don't say if your video is being restricted for being too adult or whatnot, right? They don't say that. So there's no real way of knowing whether or not your videos are being restricted or not. And obviously I know now, since just recently hearing about all this stuff, just now I'm realizing that, okay, all my videos are restricted to a certain extent. So yeah, it's cooked. Which again, I'm not complaining. The reason why I'm saying all this is now, because of all these changes, I have to do something different with my channel, with my life. Yeah, and it really affects the whole scope of the channel itself. So what does that mean for you? I would really greatly appreciate it if you would like the video, subscribe to the channel, and, you know, continue supporting me. I really appreciate that. But that also means I'm going to have to change my videos. So this spectating people series is going to have to come to an end, because there's a lot more effort going into it than return, which I hate to admit it, but you know, it's really hard to spend a lot of time on videos when you're not getting a return of your investment back. Obviously I do it because I love it and it's, you know, my passion, but at the same time, we can't spend all our time doing our hobbies. At some point, if I want to continue doing this, I'm gonna have to make a career out of it, whether it's small, part-time, or whatever. I'm going to have to, you know, I have to try and make money somehow. So that really sucks. I'm gonna have to change all my videos going forward. This also means less Marvel Rivals, because it's such a America-centric audience. And if the views in America are not enough to keep me afloat because of many reasons, then I'm gonna have to branch out into other things, and Marvel Rivals is just not popular enough in other countries to justify me staying there. But obviously it's a scary thing to completely change your content when most of my content has been Marvel Rivals for the last 7 months. Not even 9 months now. It's been 9 months. Yeah, man. So like almost a year has gone by only making Marvel Rival videos. If I start making other videos, who knows if people are even gonna care at all. So it also means I'm gonna have to make less long videos. The 40-minute, 30-minute, 20-minute, whatever videos are just not doing it anymore, because most of the people that watch those are people that are obviously on the TV, right? And they watch it and they don't really engage with the videos because, you know, they're just putting it to the side, you know, while they do other things. So it means I have to change everything. So I can't do long videos, I can't do Marvel Rivals, and I can't do the spectating people or like rage baiting or whatever, right? I can't do that stuff anymore. Or I can, but I'll just have to completely, you know, change everything to abide by, you know, the current happenings in YouTube. And at that point, who will like my current subscribers even care at all? I don't know, but we'll see. So there's my update slash rant slash informational video, just in case any of you wonder why I'm making such drastic changes to the channel. If any of you are wondering why I don't do certain things, or maybe you don't see my videos come up in your recommendations or your subscriptions or whatever, it's because of this situation. Again, thank you guys all for the support, and hopefully this is helpful. If you're also a YouTuber and you're wondering what the heckaroonies is happening, I almost said another word, but I can't say that unless I get restricted. Also, I also want to say that it really sucks that there's no like communication between YouTube. Like I didn't get like a newsletter or something. They didn't say, oh, this is what's gonna happen. Yeah. They didn't say none of that. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. Also, it took so long for people to start talking about it. This has been happening for like a month, right? Like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever. And just now it's starting to, you know, rise to the top of the conversation. Because prior to this, you know, if you all of a sudden say, oh, my views are tanking, whatever, people are just going to say, oh, you're delusional, or, oh, you just fell off, right? But it took weeks for people to finally feel comfortable saying, okay, there's something happening to my channel and I don't know what it is. It could be because of some changes that YouTube did. Like the response has been so slow. And I think it's because, you know, nobody wants to be that guy that's like complaining about, oh my God, this is so bad, you know, and then you just look like not a nice guy, right? Nobody wants to be that guy. Now, after weeks, now people are finally starting to talk about it and notice it. And then people are all, you know, everyone's coming out and expressing themselves. But prior to this, if you did that, you would be looked down upon. And if people did it way sooner, like myself, I'm part of this problem as well. I was noticing this stuff for a long time, but I didn't say anything. Obviously, because I was afraid of the backlash. But if everybody spoke up earlier, we could have fixed the problem sooner. And maybe people's income would not be in jeopardy, right? A lot of people rely on YouTube to, you know, pay their bills, feed their kids, whatever. But if we're gonna just change things all of a sudden, and like, hey, don't worry guys, the AI will figure it out. It's like, okay, well, what are we supposed to do with that? It's taking us weeks to fix the problem, the issues that people are having. Or we didn't even fix it yet. We're just talking about it. It just took us weeks to even come together and be like, okay, yeah, now there's an issue, right? But that's way too much time. And there's a lot of reasons why it's like this, right? People are afraid of backlash. And obviously, you know, if you're just one person making an observation, it won't really make as much waves as if everybody comes together and says, okay, there's an issue with this. But regardless, let me know in the comments what you think about this whole situation. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new here, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I think that's it for me. There's going to be a lot of changes coming. I can't keep going the way that I've been going, unfortunately. It's been fun, but this might be the end. So, goodbye, everybody. Thank you for all the support, and see you next time. Good luck on all your games. Boosh! Boosh, everyone, boosh! Boosh!